The silent thunder deer, Elena Vasquez, was reviewing agricultural reports from the outer colonies when her communication console erupted in urgent red alerts. The peaceful morning in Earth's Colonial Administration Center shattered as three simultaneous distress signals flooded her screens. Her coffee cup slipped from trembling fingers as she read the incoming transmissions. Kepler 186b under attack. Unknown vessels, ... Massive casualties. The first signal cut to static. Proxima Station. They came from nowhere. Orbital platforms destroyed. The second transmission ended in an explosion of white noise. New Terra calling Earth. Evacuation impossible. They're bombing everything. The third signal died completely. Elena stared at her screens in disbelief. 3 of humanity's most successful colonies, each home to over 50,000 people, had gone silent within minutes of each other. She activated the emergency protocols that she had hoped never to use. Within 30 minutes, every major government leader on Earth received the devastating news. The colonies had been humanity's pride. Kepler 186b grew food for 12 other worlds. Proxima Station served as a crucial hyperspace junction connecting human space. New Terra had been a thriving industrial center producing everything from starships to medical equipment. These weren't military targets. They were peaceful settlements filled with families, scientists, and workers who had never harmed anyone. President Sarah Mitchell sat in the emergency bunker deep beneath Geneva, surrounded by her military advisors and cabinet members. The holographic displays showed the last known positions of the 3 colonies, now marked with ominous red warning symbols. Admiral James Chen, head of Earth's Space Command, delivered the grim assessment that everyone feared. Madame President, our response capabilities are limited. We have 12 frigates and 4 cruisers available for immediate deployment. Early reports suggest the attacking force consisted of at least 20 large warships with technology we don't recognize. Defense Minister Roberto Silva leaned forward with frustration evident in his voice. Admiral, are you telling us that we cannot protect our own people? That we must simply accept this massacre without any meaningful response? Chun's weathered face showed the strain of 40 years in military service. He had fought pirates and smugglers, but nothing had prepared him for this. Sir, based on our current naval assets, any conventional response would likely result in the complete destruction of our remaining fleet. We would be sending our people to die without accomplishing anything. The room fell into heavy silence. Earth's military consisted primarily of system patrol vessels and a few larger ships designed for police actions, not warfare against unknown aliens with superior technology. The colonies had been established during peaceful expansion, protected only by their remote locations and humanity's reputation for avoiding conflicts. President Mitchell stood and walked to the large display showing Earth's position relative to the destroyed colonies. There must be something we can do. We cannot let the galaxy think that humans are defenseless prey. Admiral Chen exchanged a meaningful glance with his deputy, Admiral Lisa Park. They had served together for 20 years and shared knowledge that even the president had never been briefed on. Information so classified that only 7 people on Earth knew the complete truth. Madame President, Chen said carefully, there is something we need to discuss privately. Information that has been compartmentalized at the highest security levels for the past 40 years. The President dismissed everyone except her Chief of Staff and the 2 senior military officers. When the secure chamber was sealed from all electronic surveillance, Chen activated additional protocols that created a completely isolated environment. What I am about to tell you will sound impossible, Chen began. 50 years ago, your predecessor authorized a black-budget program called Project Deep Sleep. The public knows nothing about this operation. Mitchell's eyes narrowed. The defense budget was massive, but she thought every major expenditure was transparent to her administration. What kind of project? Admiral Park activated a secure terminal and displayed classified blueprints that made the president's breath catch in her throat. The ships shown on the screen were enormous beyond anything she had imagined. Vessels over 2 kilometers long with weapon systems that represented 5 decades of secret development. The public believes our asteroid mining operations and deep space research stations are civilian projects, explained Chen. In reality, they are disguised military shipyards and fleet bases. We have been preparing for exactly this scenario for 50 years. The revelation hit Mitchell like a physical blow. Hidden throughout the solar system, disguised as routine civilian operations, humanity had been building the most powerful military force in their history. Mining stations were actually weapons factories. Research outposts were fleet command centers. Cargo haulers were disguised warships. We currently have 18 completed dreadnoughts and over 200 supporting vessels hidden in locations from the asteroid belt to beyond Neptune, continued Park. The ships use technology that we have developed in complete secrecy, including faster-than-light drives, energy shields, and weapons that can destroy entire fleets. President Mitchell studied the classified specifications with growing amazement. The vessels were beyond anything the public had ever seen. Fusion drives that could cross between star systems in days. Armor that could regenerate itself after battle damage. Weapons that used controlled antimatter reactions to obliterate targets. Who commands this fleet? She asked. The 2 admirals had already chosen their answer. Captain Marcus Stone had commanded destroyers during the border conflicts 30 years. Earlier, the public believed he had retired to a quiet life on Mars, but he had actually been training with the secret fleet for 2 decades. His tactical brilliance and natural leadership made him the perfect choice to lead humanity's response. Get him here immediately, ordered the president. Within 6 hours, Marcus Stone stood in the same briefing room where Earth's leaders had learned about humanity's greatest secret. At 58 years old, he still moved with the confident stride of a career military officer. His grey eyes and strong jawline showed the experience of someone who had commanded ships in real combat situations. Captain Stone, explained Admiral Chen, we are offering you command of the most powerful fleet humanity has ever assembled. Your mission will be to find the aliens who destroyed our colonies and ensure they never threaten human space again. Stone examined the classified ship specifications with the eye of an experienced naval officer. The vessels represented technology that exceeded his wildest expectations during his years in the regular military. Quantum targeting systems that could lock onto enemies across entire star systems. Point defense networks that could stop thousands of missiles simultaneously. Energy weapons that could crack the hulls of any known spacecraft. When do we leave? He asked simply. The activation orders were transmitted an hour ago, replied Park. Your ships are already powering up throughout the solar system. As Stone departed Earth aboard a high-speed transport bound for the asteroid belt, the sleeping giants began their awakening across human space. Hidden facilities that had operated as civilian installations for decades revealed their true purpose. Crews who had trained in complete secrecy reported to vessels that the galaxy had never imagined. The transformation began at Mining Station Omega-7 in the asteroid belt. Commander Diana Foster had managed what appeared to be a routine mineral extraction facility for 12 years. Cargo ships arrived regularly to collect refined metals and rare elements. Workers lived in comfortable habitats carved from the asteroid's surface. To any observer, it was a typical civilian operation. Everything changed when Stone's activation codes reached the station's command center. Foster stood in what everyone believed was the mining control room and entered her authentication sequence. Massive blast doors that had remained sealed for decades opened across the asteroid's surface. Equipment that appeared to be, or processors, retracted to reveal the impossible truth. The asteroid was hollow, and inside lay humanity's most advanced military shipyard. The EFS Thunderstrike emerged from its hidden berth like a metal mountain coming to life. The dreadnought stretched over 2 kilometers in length, its hull gleaming with adaptive armor that shifted patterns as it moved. Weapon ports lined its sides, while the massive antimatter drives at its stern could accelerate the ship faster than anything known. Human Space. Foster watched from the command center as her true workplace revealed itself. Thousands of technicians and officers moved through corridors that officially did not exist. These people had trained for decades, while the galaxy believed they were simple miners and researchers. The deception had been perfect. Captain Stone arrived aboard his flagship as the Thunderstrike completed its launch preparations. He walked through passages that were wider than city streets, past weapon systems that could destroy planets. Bridge occupied 3 levels with holographic displays, showing every detail of human space and beyond. Similar scenes played out across the solar system. Europa Research Station had studied alien microbiology while secretly housing 2 dreadnoughts and their support fleets. The Titan complex beyond Neptune had supposedly been investigating the outer system while actually building humanity's largest naval base. Civilian cargo routes had transported components for weapons that could reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. Stone established communications with his fleet commanders as they took positions throughout the solar system. Captain Jennifer Walsh of the Devastator had perfected stealth technology that could make massive ships invisible to enemy sensors. The Retribution's commander, Captain David Kim, specialized in long-range bombardment that could strike targets across entire star systems. All ships, this is Captain Stone aboard the Thunderstrike, he broadcast to the awakening fleet. Project Deep Sleep is now fully operational. We have prepared for this moment for 50 years. The aliens who destroyed our colonies believe humanity is weak and defenseless. They are about to discover their mistake. The assembled fleet represented technology that had been developed in absolute secrecy. 18 dreadnoughts formed the core of Stone's armada, supported by 60 cruisers, 120 destroyers, and over 300 smaller vessels. The combined firepower could have conquered most of the known galaxy. Each ship carried weapons designed specifically to fight unknown alien technologies. Particle cannons that could penetrate any shield. Quantum torpedoes that could track targets across light years. Energy projectors that could overload enemy. Power systems from extreme distances. As the fleet assembled in the outer solar system, Earth's population watched in amazement through telescopes and news broadcasts. The ships that emerged from hiding dwarfed everything humanity had built in public, where Earth's known navy consisted of patrol vessels and light cruisers. The secret fleet included massive warships that transformed human military capabilities overnight. Stone stood on his bridge and studied tactical displays showing his complete battle group. The aliens had attacked peaceful colonies because they believed humanity was helpless. Now they would face sleeping giants that had been waiting in the darkness for 50 years. "Sir, all vessels report ready for hyperspace departure," announced his navigation officer. The sleeping giants were fully awake. Crews who were trained in secret manned weapons the galaxy could not imagine. Ships that had been hidden as civilian projects prepared to demonstrate their true nature. "Set course for the last known position of the alien fleet," ordered Stone. The colonies they destroyed were filled with innocent people. Those people deserved better protection than we gave them. We cannot bring them back, but we can ensure this never happens again. Asterisk, the Iron Symphony 300 light-years from Earth. Supreme Commander Vorthok Selith stood on the bridge of his flagship and admired the destruction his fleet had accomplished. The 3 human colonies had fallen exactly as predicted. Weak defenses, primitive technology, and panicked civilians fleeing in cargo ships. The Vorthok Empire had conquered 47 star systems using the same tactics, and humans appeared no different from any other inferior species. "Commander, our intelligence reports were accurate," announced his tactical officer. "Human military capabilities are negligible. Their ships use fusion drives and kinetic weapons, technology that we surpassed centuries ago." Zelith clicked his mandibles in satisfaction. The Vorthok had built their empire by identifying species with valuable resources and weak defenses. Humans controlled dozens of habitable worlds with rich agricultural and mineral assets. Their expansion into space had been peaceful, establishing colonies rather than military bases. Perfect targets for conquest. "Prepare the fleet for the next phase," ordered Zelith. "Intelligence indicates that Earth itself has minimal orbital defenses. We will demonstrate Vorthok's superiority by destroying their homeworld. Other species will understand that resistance is futile." The Vorthok fleet consisted of 24 warships that had been refined through centuries of conquest. Their plasma cannons could melt through any known armor. Their shields could absorb the energy of entire star systems. Most importantly, their commanders had the experience of crushing dozens of civilizations. What Zelith did not know was that hyperspace leaves traces. Every ship that travels faster than light creates quantum distortions that can be tracked by sufficiently advanced sensors. Captain Stone's fleet had been following the Vorthok signatures for 3 days, closing the distance with technology the aliens could not detect. Stone stood on the Thunderstrike's bridge and studied the tactical display, showing enemy positions. The alien fleet had stopped at an uninhabited system to refuel and repair minor damage from their attacks on human colonies. They clearly believed no pursuit was possible. "Captain, we have identified 24 enemy vessels," reported Commander Sarah Martinez, his tactical officer. "Configuration matches the ships that attacked our colonies. They appear to be conducting routine maintenance operations." Stone had spent 20 years preparing for this moment. The secret fleet had run thousands of combat simulations against unknown alien technologies. Every possible scenario had been analyzed and countered. Now the sleeping giants would demonstrate why humanity had invested 50 years in hidden preparations. "Signal all ships," Stone commanded. "Execute battle plan, Omega. No alien vessel escapes this system." The human fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation. 18 dreadnoughts materialized simultaneously around the Vorthok positions, each ship targeting multiple enemies with weapons the aliens had never encountered. The supporting vessels took positions that created an inescapable net around the enemy fleet. On the Vorthok flagship, alarm systems screamed as sensors detected the impossible. Massive human ships had appeared from nowhere, displaying technology that contradicted every intelligence report. The vessels were larger than Vorthok battleships and bristling with weapon systems that defied classification. "Commander, the humans have 18 capital ships and over 200 support vessels," reported the scanning officer in disbelief. "Energy readings exceed our maximum detection parameters." Zelith stared at his displays in shock. The humans were supposed to have a few patrol ships and outdated cruisers. Instead, they commanded a fleet that dwarfed anything the Vorthok had faced in 3 centuries of conquest. "All ships, return fire immediately," Zelith ordered. "These humans cannot possibly match Vorthok military superiority." The first exchange revealed the truth that would reshape galactic politics. Vorthok plasma cannons struck human ships and accomplished nothing. The adaptive armor absorbed the energy and strengthened itself. Human quantum torpedoes passed through Vorthok shields like they were made of paper, detonating inside enemy hulls with devastating effect. Captain Stone watched as his weapons performed exactly as designed. 50 years of secret development had created systems specifically intended to overwhelm alien defenses. The Vorthok had built their technology to fight other species they had already conquered. Humans had built their weapons to fight unknown enemies with unknown capabilities. "Direct hit on enemy flagship," reported Martinez. "Their shields are down and hull integrity is failing. Multiple secondary explosions detected." The battle that followed demonstrated the difference between experience and preparation. Vorthok commanders had centuries of combat experience against inferior opponents. Human officers had decades of training against every possible threat scenario. When superior human technology met superior alien experience, technology proved decisive. Stone's dreadnoughts moved through the Vorthok fleet like wolves among sheep. Their antimatter cannons could destroy enemy ships with single hits. Their point defense systems stopped Vorthok missiles before they could cause any damage. Most importantly, their quantum targeting systems could lock onto multiple enemies simultaneously. "Enemy vessels are attempting to retreat," reported the navigation officer. "Negative," Stone replied. "These aliens destroyed 3 peaceful colonies. They murdered 150,000 innocent people. No ship escapes. The human fleet executed maneuvers that the Vorthok could not follow. Faster-than-light drives allowed instant repositioning around the battlefield. Stealth technology made ships invisible until they opened fire. Coordinated attacks overwhelmed enemy defenses with mathematical precision. Within 2 hours, the fleet had been completely destroyed. 24 warships that had conquered nearly 50 star systems were reduced to expanding clouds of metallic debris. Not a single human ship had been lost, and damage to the fleet was minimal. Supreme Commander, Zelith spent his final moments in disbelief. The Vorthok Empire had ruled this region of space for 8 centuries. Their military had never faced a serious challenge. Now his flagship was breaking apart around him as human weapons continued their systematic destruction. Emergency transmission. To Vorthok High Command, he managed to order before his communications system failed. Humans possess advanced military technology. Previous intelligence reports were completely inaccurate. Recommend immediate diplomatic contact. The transmission was cut short as the flagship exploded, but the message reached Vorthok space. For the first time in their history, the Empire faced an opponent that could match their military capabilities. Stone established communications with the Vorthok homeworld using quantum relay technology that transmitted faster than any known method. His message would be received by alien governments throughout the galaxy within days. This is Captain Marcus Stone of the Earth Defense Fleet, speaking for humanity and our colonies. The Vorthok Empire attacked peaceful human settlements and murdered our citizens. We have responded by destroying your military fleet. Any future attacks against human space will be met with overwhelming force. We seek peace with all species, but we will defend ourselves without mercy. The transmission included complete battle recordings that showed human technological superiority. Every government in the galaxy would understand that humanity was no longer a weak species to be conquered. Earth had revealed sleeping giants that could challenge any military force. News of the battle spread quickly through established diplomatic channels. The Alterian Federation, which had refused to help during the colony attacks, immediately opened communications with Earth. The Vegan Trade Alliance requested meetings to establish commercial relationships. Even the powerful Zephyrian Empire expressed interest in formal treaties. Stone's fleet began the journey home with a victory that would be remembered for centuries. The secret shipyards had accomplished their purpose perfectly. 50 years of hidden preparation had transformed humanity from apparent weakness to demonstrated strength on Earth. President Mitchell addressed the world with news that changed everything. The colonies would be rebuilt with full military protection. Human expansion into space would continue with the security of the most powerful fleet in known space. The galaxy had learned that sleeping giants could awaken when threatened. Dr. Elena Vasquez watched the president's speech from her office in the Colonial Administration Center. The same screens that had shown colony destruction now displayed reconstruction plans. Families would return to new settlements protected by dreadnoughts that could defeat any known enemy. The attacked colonies became symbols of human resilience rather than defeat. New Kepler 186b grew food under the protection of orbital defense platforms. Proxima Station was rebuilt as the most secure hyperspace junction in the galaxy. New Terra emerged as a center for both industry and military technology. Captain Stone remained in command of the Deep Sleep Fleet, now acknowledged as humanity's primary defense force. The secret was revealed to the public as a necessary deception that had saved their species. The miners, researchers, and cargo haulers who had trained in hidden roles became heroes, celebrated throughout human space. The galaxy learned an important lesson about humanity that day. Humans might appear peaceful and vulnerable, but they possessed the wisdom to prepare for threats that had not yet materialized. 50 years of patient planning and secret construction had created sleeping giants that could awaken when needed. The Vorthok Empire never recovered from their defeat. Other conquered species saw human victory as proof that the Empire could be challenged. Rebellions erupted across Vorthok space as subject worlds demanded freedom. Within 5 years, the Empire had collapsed completely. Humanity's emergence as a galactic power brought both opportunities and responsibilities. Earth joined the Galactic Council as an equal partner rather than a junior member. Human technology became sought after by species that had previously ignored them. The Deep Sleep Project had not only saved human colonies, but had elevated humanity to a position of respect among the stars. The sleeping giants had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same. Asterisk.